Live from the East Memphis studios of KWAM, this is the Earl Farrell from Memphis Show. From humble beginnings in Odessa, Texas, he's been all over the Western Hemisphere, a radio and TV veteran, former restaurateur, and one-time male model. He's Earl Farrell, and he calls Memphis his home. This is the Earl Farrell from Memphis Show. And now, here's your host, Earl Farrell.
And thank you very much, and welcome back to Arlington, where we're broadcasting from H Saga at Port Alliance. And rejoining us right now is Donnie Mayo, Director of Shepherd's Haven. Love meeting Ronnie.
He's great.
Great. It is. I call those people blessings.
Absolutely.
Man, the more I meet, the more I realize how much they are a blessing to all of us. And it truly is one of those instances in life, and I'll tell you, when you live it every day, that the more you give, the more you get. I mean, you think that they're getting all the benefits of Shepherd's Haven? No. The people that work at Shepherd's Haven that are truly touched every single day by the people they work with.
Absolutely. We've got staff. They could be anywhere they want, and they choose to be there, and they'll go on and on, never about issue or some of the challenges that do come, just practical challenges working with men and women with special needs. They always talk about how kind they are to one another, how sweet our men and women are to one another. And so, yes, the blessings they receive.
You know, the heartbreaking part of it used to be that they were institutionalized.
Right.
When I first got into television, this is 1972, and I went to an institution in Big Spring, Texas, and I go walk in the door, and there was a big ward kind of a room. And they got like a day area where they had tables set up, and then the beds were all along the walls on both sides. And this boy, about 12 years old, he's walking toward me with a big smile on his face with his arms outstretched. And I'm going, he's getting closer. And he was a Down syndrome child. I'd never been around, didn't know anything about it. He walks up and puts his arms around me. I'm standing there. I'm like 22 years old, and I thought I was coming like to an insane asylum or something, you know. And all of a sudden, they said, no, he loves everybody. He's just giving you a hello.
Credible, reliable, always.
And the thing about it is they're such loving, sweet, as you said, sweet people.
Absolutely.
And after that, I thought, why is he here? And I said, because, you know, this is what happens. The parents didn't feel like they could deal with it, and so they bring them here. Back then, there was federal funding for it, though. The best thing that could ever happen to those folks, though, was they stopped the federal funding, and people like you guys and faith-based organizations started coming in and filling in, and which is the best thing that could have happened.
You know, and that's exactly what Shepherd's Haven started from. It was 5 families that had children with special needs saying, hey, when we get older, we can't offer the level of care we'd like for our children, or our children get older, want to stretch their legs, experience a little more freedom and independence. What's available? And they went and looked around and came back and said, we're not comfortable with what's available. And so I love this just at the heart of a parent. So they started something. They said there isn't something for our children, so let's make something. They created Shepherd's Haven.
And which is part of what Bob does. He looks around and says, where is something missing in what in the world out there we're trying to accomplish? And then you make it happen. And I think that's where our real talents come from is when something's not working, you just don't go, hey, this isn't working. I guess we give up now. You find a way to make it work, and this is working. And I remember when I had to find a rehab place for my dad to go, and my sister and I spent 2 whole days looking all over Dallas-Fort Worth saying, where do we feel good about leaving our dad? And that's the same situation these folks were facing. And because you have to, this is a guy that raised me, taught me everything I do, and you're just going to dump him off someplace? No, it's not going to happen. Sure. And that's what they wanted. They wanted to be sure that where their kids went, that it was because they were going to have a quality life, just like they'd had up to that point.
That's right. You know, when we're talking with potential staff members, after we get past the qualifications, right, the next question is, we don't know about that heart. Tell me, the heart of a mother, the heart of a father, the heart of a grandparent, because right after the qualifications, that heart to love and to serve, it's close as we can get to what the family would offer. That's what we want to do.
Not unlike when I started looking for my wife, because there's about 10 questions I could ask a woman and find out whether she was the person I was looking for. Are you close to your family? Do you have friends? Do you have male and female friends? Do you have a pet? There's a series of questions, and I know they were always looking at me kind of, where are you driving at? I said, well, I'm looking for the mother of my children, and I'm not looking just for another date. And so that's kind of what you're doing. You're sitting there saying, who are you, but without asking them who they are.
That's right. Yeah, we want to see, yes, absolutely, what they're trained and equipped and educated for, but not just that, but what are they going to do outside of that? And so we're so blessed to have staff there's 16 on staff, 14 of those get direct care. And I tell you what, my uncle, now he passed away early last year, but for a period of time towards the end of his life, he was at Shepherd's Haven. That is exactly where my family wanted him, was with the direct care staff that we have.
And, of course, you're there through donations to people that can pay due, but if somebody wanted to contribute to Shepherd's Haven, how do they do that?
Sure. So we do charge tuition to people that either at the day program or in the homes, but we adjust tuition for anyone that needs it. We're never have and won't turn anyone away due to finances. So we are dependent on individual donors. So now we have numerous different events throughout the year, whether that's a talent show or a golf tournament later in the fall, but something that's right on the horizon is our annual banquet. And I think it's actually the best opportunity in one setting to see and hear exactly what Shepherd's Haven is. And it's going to be on May 3rd, which is a Thursday night from 6:30. It'll wrap up right about 8 o'clock. But it'll be at Bellevue Baptist Church in Cordova in their fellowship hall. People can go online and purchase a seat or table. But at that program, full dinner, but then for about a 50-minute program that our men and women, through testimonies and interviews, videos, songs, and just spotlighting their personality, they show what Shepherd's Haven is and the impact that it has in their life. And if anyone's interested in that, they can go to our website, shepherdshaven.org, and get more information about that. They can call 901-347-5296 for more information. But certainly there are things going on all the time at Shepherd's Haven. And if you weren't able to make the banquet or that's not the right fit for you, to give us a shout, and we can walk you through different ways that you can be involved, whether that's financially or through volunteering or through partnering with your company like Bob and H. Saga have done.
Well, let's talk to Bob. I'm going to turn your mic down and say, well, you guys swap headsets and find out how his companies, because we heard from his employees earlier about how many things they are involved in and giving back to the community. And that's obviously, that comes from the top. It's something you strongly believe in, and encourage all your employees to get involved.
We do. We feel strongly, and I know I started it this way. I'm going to follow on up towards the end about the fact that it comes from our common belief of earning all we can, giving all we can, and, saving all that we can and making all three of those things work. And so I'm just excited that you were able to meet some pretty outstanding people here in Arlington that we just had the privilege to be able to be associated with.
Well, and it's like my dad used to tell me with your friends, that said, you are known by who you associate with, and you're associated with some pretty neat people.
Well, I'll tell you, man, that's great. They not only bring up the IQ level, but they're all a lot better looking than me, too. So.
We're talking with Bob Wilson. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk some more with Bob about his involvement in the community and why it's important for you to be involved in the community and help out organizations like Shepherd's Haven. So we'll be back right after this. We're coming to you live from Arlington. I could be a blues singer.
I think you guys do.
If I could just sing and remember the words. That was always the other problem.
Well, that's blues, right? You can just hum a little and make it a little.
And Bob Wilson, we could do the Bob and Earl show.
I think that'd be outstanding. Unfortunately, I don't think anyone would come, so maybe we better stick to our regular primary careers.
I did do one time. A friend of mine was at a talent show at the Rum Boogie Cafe down in Billsgate.
Yeah,
and he wanted me to come on first to do something really bad so to make him look that much better. And I did it for him.
You know what? You're a giver. You're a giver, my friend.
I gave everybody a bad show before I gave to go. Let's talk more about, speaking of giving, more about corporate giving and what that means to your company, your employees, because we talked about this place being a happy place. That's part of it.
It is. And I want to follow up with something that I believe Donnie Mayo ended with about, people come to the events, whether it be the banquet or you come by and see the facilities, and they're excited and they're happy. I want to tell you a little bit about what we've been able to do with Shepherd's Haven. Last year for Christmas, our industry, we do a lot of things. They give out calendars, right? They give out pens. Everyone has those corporate things that they're giving out now. Well, last year what we had is we had the staff of Shepherd's Haven create all of our Christmas gifts for all of our customers around the world. And they created picture frames, handmade. Each one looked different. And then we put pictures of our teams from our different locations all around the world and then sent those on out to our customers. And on the back, it had a picture of the participant that made that gift.
Wow.
And a story about Shepherd's Haven. And so let's talk about that being related to corporate America and other initiatives. Well, first of all, man, it was a heck of a lot of fun to be working with that team to create those gifts. The second thing is, you know what? People don't really look at that calendar all the time. They give out from a corporate standpoint and say, oh, yeah, those people are doing good things in the community. I want to be involved with them. But every time I turn around and look at that picture frame made by one of the participants, they say, this is different. It's unique. It creates a dialogue. So you know what? Not that I want to turn this into some sort of a marketing spiel, but the reality is, hey, I'm a businessman, and I like things that come back 10x in what you give. Well, I'll tell you, being associated with people like this, the ones that you've met today, you get a lot more than 10x back. And I'll tell you a little bit more of the story. We were able to go over and watch them prepare all of our gifts. I spent an hour and a half there. And as I walked out, Donnie was looking at me, and I was rubbing my cheeks, my big old chubby cheeks, and he said, what's wrong? And I said, I don't know that I've spent an hour and a half smiling this much. My muscles are just a little bit out of whack. And you know what? I walked away from that activity, hanging out with those participants, just plain happy. And that lasted all day and into the next day.
Also, when the recipients get the pictures, there's a story behind it. I got a friend, Ron Olson, that does paintings. And I said, Ron, what you have to do is there has to be a story about every painting you give somebody. And you need to type it up and put it on the back, something about where you got the pieces, because it's multimedia. I said, because that's what makes it special. Well, that's what you're giving them, is a story, and a sweet story. And I guarantee every time somebody sees that, they go, look on the back. This is right.
This is the person that made it. And in business, we talk a lot about what is your narrative, because that's when you're telling your customer about what you do and how you can solve their problems, your narrative is incredibly important. Well, you know what? When you have a narrative involved with, like, the people that you've met today, that narrative speaks for itself.
Well, it tells an awful lot about who you are.
Well, that's
and your company. But it is. I mean, that's not just lip service. You're actually out there doing it.
And we're certainly having a good time, and we're having an awful lot of fun. I know you spent some time on the air with Ronnie. These are great people. So let me talk a little bit about ways that I would suggest corporations become involved.
Okay.
Folks, we've got a responsibility here to give back to our community. Back to that whole comment of earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. Well, hey, folks, if we're out here being successful, and we've been blessed with the opportunity of having good customers and made successful businesses, we need to be able to give back. But you know what? Sometimes that's a challenge, because when you're giving back corporate funds, you're giving corporate time with your people, you got to make sure it's effective and efficient time. And some of the people that you've heard today, I'll go back to Shepherd's Haven and Donnie and his team. Great people doing great things, and they are effective and efficient with the use of the money. Your money is being used well. So I'd encourage companies, if you don't have a corporate sponsorship program together, it doesn't matter if you're two people making a little bit of money or a big corporation making a lot of money. Find an organization that you feel comfortable with, do that vetting, and make that part of your budget, because it's good for what you're giving back into the community, and it's good for your personal soul, and all those things come back around. So I would suggest, hey, you've heard about some people here today. These are opportunities to give back. I'm going to go back to the Park and Recs organization and our friend Kevin. And I said, if there's anything that happens in Arlington that requires an awful lot of work, prep, and it's beautiful and wonderful, and we all get to participate in it, Kevin and his team are behind it, Well, hey, they can take volunteers any day, because it's a lot of work to put on a fireworks show or be involved with the Merchants Association and do the music on the square and all the many things that are involved with sports. these people are doing lots of great things. So if you don't have the money, find some time. Because back to what I'm looking for here is, I'm always looking for a 10x return, and that 10x return oftentimes is the more you give, the more you get back.
Well, and then if you just look around, and I'm 67, I've seen a lot, and what I have seen is that sure, bad things do happen to good people, but more good things happen to good people than bad things.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is about what you do with your time here on this earth, and getting up and looking at the good Lord one day and going, made a lot of money, and then He's going to say, what did you do with it?
That's right.
That's part of it.
That is,
as you said, you've been blessed, bless somebody else.
absolutely. And I'm really pleased because we're going to go ahead and give you an opportunity to meet one more person here from the community.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back, and you'll meet Reverend Meyer. So stay with us. We'll be back.